All right, hello everybody. Welcome. Thank you guys all for coming. We know that during this time it can be pretty difficult to come here and there. So we really appreciate everybody showing up. And yeah, we're trying to get started just about right now. Formally, this is the 0 to 1 Winter 2022 demo day. We know there's some confusion between the winter 2021 and 2022, but let's just go 2022. It's easier now. Okay. So we know that all of you guys came to the info session, so we're going to be very brief about this. What is 0 to 1? We're an incubator for early stage student ventures, and we offer a community. Those are our two unique selling points, and that's what makes 0 to 1 special. Demo Day, which is what's happening right now, is our semi-annual event. It's a formal pitching competition for all of the ventures, and we have a mixture between our actual fall 2021 cohort, and then also some of our venture consultants who are coming to pitch some of their own ventures that they've been building on the side. So it's a really good mixture of different levels of ventures that we can all appreciate and see. Our judges include our 0 to 1 faculty advisors like Valerie, our mentors, sponsors, and then also some special guest judges or professors who act as some of our other judges as well. We also offer prizes to the top ventures that the judges choose at the end of demo day. Before we keep going, we just want to take a quick moment to thank all of our student founders. Like we mentioned, and like everybody knows, this has to be said over. It is difficult to do a lot of things right now, and the fact that you guys are taking not only just inherently a difficult step, which is turning your ideas into a real venture, but you're also doing it at a time which is exponentially more harder. So we really appreciate all the effort that you guys put in, and no matter what happens here today or how it goes, it's definitely a good sign for everybody here that you guys put in that effort. You guys are able to make something real here. So getting into our judges, these are our 4 judges. So first, we're going to start with Dr. Philbert Chen. He is a physician at Carle Hospital, and he's a physician mentor at UIUC. Next, we have Dr. Gabriel Price. He's a program coordinator at iVenture Accelerator and the president of Ernest Earth. Next, we have Valerie Warpatinsky. She's also 0 to 1 faculty advisor. She's the associate director for entrepreneurial education and Origin Ventures Academy at College of East here at Urbana-Champaign. And finally, we have Alex Gorsuch, who is the co-founder and the CTO at Ascent, and he has a strong background and experience in agriculture, technology, and engineering. So if everyone could just give a round of applause to all of us. And now, just a quick itinerary. We're not going to go in detail, just so you guys get an idea of what's going on. First, after this, we're going to have a word from our sponsors. Then we're going to get into our experienced student founders, so our venture consultants. We're going to have a quick intermission. And then we're going to go to the fall 2021 cohort pitches. And then finally, while the judges deliberate and pick winners, we're going to have food and then an award ceremony. And then after that, everybody is free to network with either the committees or the different ventures and just have a great time afterwards. So with that underway, let's get started with our sponsors. First is OVAL, the Origin Ventures Academy for Entrepreneurial Leadership, and our faculty advisor, Valerie, is represented today.
Hey, thanks, Edgar. I think it's important. I want to acknowledge all the leadership team at 0 to 1 and all the members. And this organization has worked really, really hard this year and working with the other student groups to enhance our entrepreneurship ecosystem. All who've been really actively involved. We've noticed a lot of differences in sort of sourcing and developing early stage ventures, and that's only going to help our entire ecosystem. So I know the student leaders have been working incredibly hard. I keep seeing all the messages. I know there's been lots and lots of practice sessions and those kinds of things. So hopefully all of your hard work will pay off. But definitely props to, again, the organization and all the work that you guys do all year round. So appreciate you for that. So I'm in the East College Business. It's a mouthful. So OVAL is our unit, but we provide cross-campus programming in the entrepreneurship and social innovation space, as well as sort of community-based programming locally and abroad to help small-scale micro entrepreneurs and small business. Got a lot of different programs in our portfolio. I just want to encourage people to maybe chat with me after, or let me, I can take your name. We have a Slack channel where I post lots and lots of opportunities. Again, there's probably something for everybody. And our deadline for our Illinois Impact Incubator, if you happen to have a venture focused on social and environmental impact, that deadline is Monday. So we've got a really, really great group of ventures that are going to be participating. So if that's on your mind and you still want to participate in spring, make sure you grab me to get that link, and we're answering your questions. So thanks and good luck.
Next, also from the College of Business is the iVenture Accelerator, represented by Dr. Gabriel Price.
I'm Gabe with iVenture. We are the premier startup accelerator for student entrepreneur groups at the University of Illinois. We give each team $10,000 in capacity funding, and each team member gets $2,500 in stipend to use as you choose. Usually folks use it for living expenses. And we take place during the summer, where it's a 10-week, 40-hour-a-week program, essentially treating your startup as a full-time job so you can grow it, scale it, and make it a reality. We also provide expert office hours with leading chief technology officers, engineers, lawyers, accountants. Basically, anything you need to start a company, we help you get those resources. And then we cap the program with a showcase where all the teams present to investors and leaders in industry. And hopefully, as things depend on how the pandemic goes, we will take our annual trip to Chicago to Avant and the lead for the largest company in the U.S. Yeah, if you want to learn more, feel free to meet with me after this program, and or email me at iventure@illinois.edu and set a meeting. And finally, we also want to encourage everyone to apply to the program, which you can find on our website. You just type in iVenture. Thank you.
Next, we have TEC, and it is represented by Tanya in the back.
Hi, everyone. I'm also a founder, but I also have a TEC. So TEC is organizing, and it has been organizing the Boozer event strategy. It happens at great. That and this is going to $1,000 in cash and in-cash funding. The deadline is Monday, so please apply before then. All state startups are find the link on TEC. You got to meet your own question.
And finally, our last sponsor is the Siebel Center for Design. There's no real representative for it here today, but I mean, I think the building is enough representative. So, y'all give a round of applause for the Siebel Center for Design. And now, finally, with our sponsorship out of the way, and we're going to get started with our experienced student founders, the venture consulting pitches. We have a couple minutes just to get that set, and we'll be underway. Feel free to take it out.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Rosario. I am the co-founder of Siesta Wrap. Is anybody feeling tired today? Like you might need a nap? Well, you're lucky because when you need a nap, that is Siesta Wrap. So napping is necessary. As for college students, we know this. Each day, 81 million Americans take a nap. Why do they do it? Because it boosts memory, it lifts your mood. Children take naps because it leads to quicker learning and a deeper retention of knowledge. Unfortunately, using normal pillows and blankets prevents you from taking advantage of these great benefits of napping. 1 in 3 Americans are sleep deprived. Napping is definitely required to reach our full potential. So what's the problem? Customers interested in loud and light-travel sleep devices want something that's convenient and comfortable. Unfortunately, by using traditional pillows and blankets, they're not able to have a device that's easy to store, easy to pack, provides great head support, is warm, withstands light travel, and is machine washable. And unfortunately, this means that they're pairing these devices together and they're not reaping the benefit. They're having an uncomfortable nap and they're having to transport the bulky devices. In a worst case scenario, they're not even sleeping altogether. So what's the solution? Whether you're crashing out on the couch or relaxing on a road trip, snoozers can't lose without a cozy siesta wrap. This unique nap wrap features a fluffy L-shaped pillow with a full-size blanket that covers you to sleep. When nap time's over, simply fold the blanket back into the pillow built-in pouch and you're ready to roll. The siesta wrap goes anywhere you do and allows you to take a refreshing nap in all the places you want to only dream of. All siesta wraps are handmade and machine washable. So, our sales have shown that American mothers between the ages of 25 and 70 with a household annual income of about $100,000 who buy siesta wraps as gifts for our end users, which we believe are Americans between the ages of 5 and 30, which participate in annual gift exchange. So, whether you're in the airplane, in the car, or train, the siesta wrap is easy to store and transport. It provides excellent head support and great warmth. The siesta wrap's durable design allows for light travel and subsequent cleaning, and it also allows for branding opportunities like you see on the units in front of you. Right now, a majority of our sales are coming through our website at www.siestawrap.com, but we're also selling through our other retailers listed there. Our primary marketing platform is Instagram. We have a few thousand followers. And then our notable recent initiatives is our most recent branding redesign. We got a lot of good feedback from even people at UIUC. Told us that we need to change some things up. And we've also done a photo shoot with the pictures that we saw on the previous slide. So let's talk about intellectual property. We are granted our design patent, which gives us the exclusive rights to manufacture and distribute our products in the United States. We've also gone and filed under the Hague Agreement, and that means that we have the exclusive right to manufacture and distribute our products in 74 countries overseas. While we're not necessarily using that protection at the moment, we are planning to use it in the future when we expand. We also have a registered trademark, which means that we are the only company allowed to use the word mark siesta wrap. So let's talk about some numbers. In 2020, we sold 50 prototypes for $2,500. Doesn't seem like a lot, but we use that as a learning trial. We basically wanted to make sure that our product was fully refined and that we were able to kind of get down manufacturing. During that time, we also filed for a patent and secured our initial funding. In 2021, we sold over 500 units and grossed over $30,000. And we actually sold out in Q4, which is our most is our busiest quarter. Had we not sold out, we projected to gross about $50,000. And at the end of 2021, we were able to secure manufacturing overseas in China. Lastly, in 2022, we're hoping to sell about 2,500 units and gross $125,000 between our siesta wraps, hoodies, and sleepwear that we're selling as a bundle. So what are we working on right now? Right now, we're waiting on 1,000 units from China. We were able to get our cost down to $15.18 per unit, and with additional distribution costs on top of that. Once those units land, we're going to really hype up our digital advertising, which is going to, for the first time, we're going to be advertising on Google, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok with new videos that we're coming out. So lastly, when you need a nap, grab a siesta wrap. Thank you. Any questions?
Could you share a little bit about that jump between like your sales for this year and your projection for 2020? What are your sort of your plans in terms of?
Yes, so I know that is a four-time hope there. The reason we think that's going to happen kind of is more unclear. Kind of for the first time, we're going to have real margins on our units. We're going to be at about 35 to 40%. And with that, we're actually able to afford advertising that we weren't able to do in the past. That's why we believe that we'll be able to grow. So there we go. That's why we believe we're going to be able to make that jump.
How does somebody begin the advertising?
It was all through Instagram, and it was through it was all through Instagram, and it was all through basically B2B sales. So we've done a lot of these branded deals with companies and schools and businesses like that who buy our products for advertising purposes. Yeah. So yeah, we have been reaching out to a lot of our businesses. I'd say about 50% of our sales come from businesses, and we believe that we kind of slot in the hoodies and stuff pants and all the other things that come sell. And we don't sell right alongside them, and have to sell right alongside. Yes. How much of that roughly? I'd say about 15,000 was individuals, and 15,000 it was about 15,000. But I will say that the B2B sales are a lot easier to kind of take because getting sales from customers is a little process. But I'm sorry, I didn't get a little bit about. Yes, so we were started at the Illinois Math and Science Academy, which is a boarding school in northern Chicago. It's myself and my business partner, his name is Deborah. He's not here right now because he's got so together a little bit, helping us out with our branding, web design, and design sales.
So this is, how many companies have you done the branding? Are you happy? Do you know how long this, like, the detail lasts with walking and stuff?
Yes.
How is this holding up?
Yeah, so we've sold to about 7 companies so far, which is obviously $50,000. And we've had no complaints with details coming off. We definitely stress tested our products. They've gone through the washing machine and dryer at high heat. We advise against them, and we haven't had any. We are looking for some help, and we're discounting the price a little bit to encourage some other. Yeah, so the detail adds about $3 in cost, but typically we can mark that up $5 to $7.
All right, I don't need to try any of the judges off. You guys have more questions. So we do have a max at about 3 minutes. So with that concluded, give everyone another round of applause for Rosario.
It is like, yeah. Yes, I will.
You did McDonald's.
Yeah.
That goes around your neck like that and don't think it's over you.
Hi everyone, my name is Hillary Sam and I'm the founder of Disability. I'd like to start by introducing you to Tom knew that, the Brazilian trailer man. When he was 29, he got to a motorcycle accident and he had both. Adapted clothes, but this was limited, the clothes are ugly, and made him feel like he was still wearing hospital gear. Instead, he now usually wears athletic clothes, which are easier to wear, but sometimes make him stand out. And Pluton isn't alone. From our survey, 90% of respondents said they didn't find clothes that would be too hard to wear, and at least half asked someone for help while dressing every day. We also found 2 studies from the University of Missouri which linked a lack of clothes to social and professional barriers. In one interview, a man said he couldn't go to his brother's wedding because of a lack of family clothes. This issue isn't new at all. Adaptive clothing just means clothes modified in some way for people with additional needs. This year, the global market is projected to be $315 billion and the US gets us about $50 billion of that. In the US, 20% of Americans have a disability of some sort, and about 19.9 have dexterity or mobility issues specifically. And dexterity challenges cover a range of health issues, from temporary sprains to arthritis, Parkinson's, anything that affects a person's wrist or fine motor skills. After learning about this problem, Equability began because we want to build an inclusive world where everyone can wear what they want. Equability is a clothing modification service that focuses on the challenging functional features of clothes, such as buttons or zippers. We do not change the design or size of clothes at all, and we modify using technology like Velcro, magnets, and snap buttons. Let me show you how our magnet modifications work. That's pretty easy. So our goal is for the clothes to look exactly the same as something you buy from a store, but be adapted to help each individual. Equability has 2 revenue streams. On the B2C side, customers would send their clothes to us, we modify them, and send them right back. On the B2B side, customers buy from the retailer, the company would send it to us, and we would send the item back for in-store pickup or to the customer directly. To order our modifications, customers would go on our website and choose from a drop-down menu of materials. Then they decide which feature to change. Our long-term goal is to become embedded within existing checkout processes. We want to be added as a third delivery option and create a seamless buying experience for our customers. And since our service is standardized, it requires far less training than full tailoring and make our operations scalable. In terms of the competitive environment, there are low-end clothing retailers that offer a wide variety of clothes, but they don't have adaptive options. There are higher-end retailers with some adaptive options like Tommy Adaptive, but they are still very expensive. And in terms of existing solutions, there are companies that sell only adaptive clothes, but they focus more on function, not fashion, and are still very expensive. The main issue left out is social integration. People with additional needs have to shop in really limited sections and are still being treated as others. Equability offers variety, accessible options, and creates a seamless buying experience, so no one has to be excluded or burdened because of their abilities. As of November of last year, Equability officially launched within the Champaign and Chicago area. Very exciting. We are currently working on creating marketing campaigns and looking to hire part-time contract sewers to perform our modifications. We've also just started prototyping dress pants and slacks and are looking for retail companies to partner with in the future. Our team currently consists of myself, my name is Hillary, I'm the founder and CEO of Equability, and Maya Esper, who brings a lot of design and fashion experience. We are actively looking for partners who either have operations or marketing experience, or anyone who's really passionate about our mission. Finally, I'd like to end with our mission statement, which is change clothes so people don't have to. We want to modify clothes so no one has to change their lifestyle or clothing style because of their abilities. Thank you.
How long does it take to do an adjustment?
Sure. So each one is 30 minutes to 45 minutes, but we, on a contract basis, will pay for 45 minutes.
So we only do shirts.
Right now, we only do modifications to anything with buttons. So we've gotten button-down dresses, we've gotten button-down shirts, we've gotten children's shirts that have buttons on it, especially around the holidays. So anything that has a button that is modifiable. We have tried with sweaters, and we did one custom cardigan for someone. We had to hand sew that, so I don't think we could go with sweaters anymore.
So do you know how much you'll have to make per hour?
Sure. So we will pay for about 45 minutes of labor for each person. And we've done the math where I think it's 428 break-even units at the very beginning. Just with the cost of the sewing machines, the facilities, and upfront materials too, like thread and all the Velcro snap rings. So our break-even is about 40 units, but we do a per week contract. So we have our contract sewers, we'll give them a week to do X number that we agree upon before. And so we'll just swap them out. So I will handle all the logistics, and they will have the entire week budgeted to perform the modifications.
Okay, well, if you get an approximate of what it would cost consumer to have a shirt altered.
Sure. To have a shirt altered, it is $35. That is the upfront cost plus a $10 shipping fee. So I think it's funny, shipping is one of the most important costs to our business. So we absorb one part of that travel leg, so we absorb $10 of the cost, and the customer pay additional $10.
What would your profit margin be?
Sure, it's about 20%. We do offer children's modifications too, because we found that kids with autism or sensory processing disorder, they need modifications as well, or even parents who want their kids to learn how to dress on their own earlier. So we've offered a child's modification service that's $25 instead of $35.
You may probably start, but can you share a little more about being able to feel like the most promising avenues for growth, and how people finding you, the bigger, sector that you're sort of going for, that you think lucrative or more responsive for customers based off.
Sure. I think one of our biggest focus now, we have been focused a lot with people with disabilities. So we've been doing a lot of marketing geared towards people in old senior living facilities. We've been partnering with Paralympic athletes. So they've been sending us clothes, and then we post on social media using their following on this platform. So like Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. As well, we're really trying to pivot to include the kids market as well. We figured that like parents really want to care for their kids, make sure their clothes are working for them. They also live really hectic lifestyles too. So imagine just closing up a button-down shirt instead of having to wiggle a spermy child into like a button-down shirt. So I think those are our main two groups that we're targeting right now.
All right, and that concludes Hillary's presentation. Another round of applause.
So
Hello, so my name is Jen. I am the lead software developer at CTO of an app called Store. We actually launched on the App Store back in 2019, the iOS App Store. The Android version has not been released yet, but today our deck is focusing less on the app itself and more so our new pivot, because we've been on the App Store for two or so years, and we have like plateaued and hit a roadblock. So the biggest problem we have is that our app, the trip plan utility is always favorited. Everyone loves the drag and drop feature and how it goes about that. But no one, in the end, no one actually plans their trip to go we found out with like our own like research and data from using the app is they everyone thinks they want to plan a trip, but once it's time to actually go, they're more spontaneous and such. So we found the main issue with people who need planning is more so when they want to plan as a group with friends. So collaboration is actually the deal breaker from a lot of like customer issues we've had. And for example, for using other apps such as these two competitors, people complain about not being able to share their trip, and one that's has like some sharing ability is always praised for its sharing ability. So the solution is a revamp of our app called Tool 4.0, where our drag and drop and the drag and drop platform is now collaborative with friends. You can plan in real time, Google Doc style with a group, find things to do along the way. We have an extensive explore and search platform that you can find things to do in anywhere around the world, where we partner with Foursquare for this. And we are also adaptable to anything during the trip, and we will focus on also like social leave and sharing where you can bucket list after the trip. We identify the most potential what we call social travelers. Is that like people travel with friends, not with family and not really for business. And yeah, so 60% of millennials and Gen Z of millennials and Gen Z of young people that travel with friends. And that is the largest category of people travel like as a group. If you ignore family, business, etc. Our roadmap is in the short term, we will focus on trying to launch with social travelers and universities. Then we will see if we can partner with some university programs such as Study Abroad, conferences, and maybe another avenue is online travel agents, because our collaborative platform allows people to work together no matter if it's like an agent or like friends. Our main business model is a subscription model where we provide quality of life features such as the extensive explore feature, offline plans access, and unlimited itineraries. The founding team consists of me here, Jen, and the other two co-founders are both in California. One is at Berkeley, and the other is in Clara. They're using one to pitch, so I'm not that good. But today, the focus is more so on the show you the demo of the C version that we developed with the pivot. This is a recorded demo because I couldn't get the airplay work. So first, when you create, so let's see here, you're creating a trip. You can easily add your friends to your trip. And you can also get invalid, but because of our time constraint, I'm not showing this one here. So you can make lists and search for activities. Here's an example of searching when I go on a trip to Colorado or Denver. And target topics. It shows all the info about the area. Save, add to list. Basically, you can also search anywhere in the world, such as if you want to go to Florida, search where you want to go there, and like create a separate list of ideas of where you want to go before planning. And everything is real-time collaborative. Anyone can add and like the list of things to do here. So once you have your bucket list sorted out, you can start planning, select the time, let's say you want to go to Disney World on Monday, second day here, and you can select the time, quickly add, and you can see here, it shows up in your plans. You can drag the edges to just find where you want to go. Once again, this is all in real time. If you're like working together with friends, they all see this slide on any phone. And then add another activity after it. Say on another day you want to go somewhere else, such as here, you on a speedway, and you want to go on Tuesday instead. Add a start day, add time there, and we do all the time calculations and everything, so we can ensure no conflicts. And so we want to go somewhere next, like you want to stop by lunch, you don't have to your plans, you can just search online here, and we show you the best things provided by Foursquare. We want to go here, we provide all the travel time for you, and once you add the trip, it includes the travel time, and yeah. If you have someone want to go somewhere between, they'll use dragger, drag off in the middle, and have to leave your list here. And you can see that it handles all the time, pushes everything around, so you don't have to worry about time management at all. That's not your problem. And yeah, you can also add stays and flights. Here's a quick example of adding a flight. There are lots of jump cuts because of time constraints, of course, sorry. And a flight, it will also add the flight to your plans, store your data. Also, you can manage everything in one place and see further, include your plans. Let's say when you want to fly back, you're back in Champaign, you're back here, and you want to stop by for like lunch or dinner or something. You can also just grab something in, search in the area, it shows you how to do, like lunch, or there's lunch spots. That. And if for some reason you want to change your travel path, you want to fight there for some reason, I don't know why you would do that, but it'll also calculate the exact time it takes. So you have to worry about that. And yeah, that is it so far. And we are going to be running a new beta program to test out how this new version of Tour works and if everyone likes it. And you can actually get the new version live right now at touroutthecus.com, and you can plan your trips with friends. Thank you.
Couple questions. For your, I guess, business model, if I pay for the app and I invite people, are they able to use the features? Or do they have to also pay for the subscription?
Yes, so collaboration, and if anyone with the Explorer Club, the free program is in a trip, all their friends in the trip get the feature as well.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, sorry. I just skipped through this really fast because the demo was long.
So the other question I have is, why do you think a monthly subscription fee would be viable for this sector? If individuals are generally.
So what we found is that people who would appreciate a trip planning utility like this are people who would actually travel like more often. There is also the option of someone who like doesn't travel as much to just use that, pay for the period of time they need it, and not a whole like lifetime subscription or whatever, or yearly. And that is
Yeah, it just seems more reasonable at that point. To pay for the use. That's a thought. People see, oh, if I got a monthly one. Currently about 500 months after. Premium, around 12.
Okay, if there are no more questions, then that's going to wrap, unless, you can go home.
Well, I just, it's sort of, but, you kind of went into the problem statement, sort of explaining Work 4.0 rather than really focusing on what the problem, that you were solving was part of the jurisdiction. But I guess is this primarily because people are having trouble with the collaboration piece, or do you envision, again, even with the demo, I couldn't understand how two users would be loading things on top of each other, communicating and interfacing. So I'm wondering, do you also see this as a solution for the increase in population of solo travelers to try to organize this trip, or is this really primarily intended to solve some specific problem for peer travelers that is not solved by any of the rest of the population?
Is mainly used to solve peer problem. So the earlier versions were like more didn't have the collaboration feature and focused more on solo travelers, and we found that it didn't really work. And like people didn't actually not too much people actually plan this when they're as a social traveler. It needs help with this, and we found that when peer-to-peer traveling, there's always like time conflicts. So that's why we have the time handling, the travel time. So two people can add two activities on top of each other, and like they will never the app will magically adjust the time so they don't conflict and can push everything around.
All right, another round of applause for Jeff. That concludes our venture consultants, our experienced student founders pitching. And now, if you want to take a look for either Nithya or Vedant on the board of the left right now, we're going to have a little bit of a quick intermission. There's going to be some snacks in the back. If you want to follow them, there's also some questions and some little bit of fun engagement in the back. So, in a couple of minutes, everybody can just follow Nithya and Vedant to the back there. Yeah. We put that forward. Is there a social?
Not that I do have a lab.
Because it is on. And there's also one thing Thursday as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm there for Thursday.
Yeah, I'm assuming. Oh, it's for your ECU.
Just that type of thing you gotta take away. Last first lab. Yes, I demo this on Friday. And then we started the weekend before, right? So we're picking away each day, 2 hours every day. That's not enough. I don't know. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm just saying I'm lucky that I'm doing computer science, but I'm not doing a lot of the hardware.
It's just CS, so it's a fair share software.
Yeah, they have a lot of stuff, but
what kind of languages are you working
so right now the classes I'm taking are doing C++ and then Rust.
C++.
Yeah, Rust is basically just like a developer. But yeah, so
How are you liking it so far?
it's good. It's funny because the class that I did is with a lot of there's like being like very little instruction and expecting you to do things. Thankfully, I'm in the website or I'm like, what else going on?
know I mentioned my friend's name Ryan. Do you know anyone that will Kareem? Kareem, last name starts with a B. If you ever end up like joining the All Stars or something, I think he runs it. Mention my name. He's really good.
Yeah, I'll look at that, 'cause I probably have to work with him this week.
Yeah. Keep it up. He's really helpful. He knows the CS. Whenever I'm like working on the software side of things, it's on me. I got it.
Yeah, that's the thing with CS with like actual coding language themselves. They have it. I really like that. Yeah. I did. He knows it, so yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
I'll probably leave right now.
Oh,
I have like
okay, yeah. Okay,
because said like website's not yet, so oh no. Yeah, no problem. No problem.
We'll get up there. We'll find a little, send me a message on Slack.
Okay. Section. So yeah. So I really like yeah.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Can I say it like
Yeah.
because I really like snapping in the daytime.
Yes, yes.
So
Yeah. Oh, yes.
oh, we're just like
And then the blinker goes over.
oh like so there's a little pop here. Just put it in the oh super weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want it. We want it. Great performance.
Yeah, that's I was able to buy one.
Yeah.
I'm also coming from Turkey, so I don't really.
Actually, we were looking at that. Sorry.
Yeah, if you want to produce Turkey, like now the Turkish is really bad, so you can take advantage. But it's actually it's not both like good for me, but yeah, nice meeting you. Nice to see you in the meetings.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You will be there, right?
I'm going to be there on Mondays.
On Monday. Oh, okay. I'm a little nervous about the interview process. Yeah, so yeah.
I'm going to do that. And I know about the whole process of I've worked with a lot of people who don't necessarily have strong skills. And I've definitely seen it. That's just an introduction.
Yeah, I'll try my best.
Yeah, try
Yeah.
your best. It's not like that.
Okay. Because nice meeting you too. Hope to see you there.
Yes. Just a I mean, I still would. That was our first one. Oh, that's very true. Yeah, yeah. I mean, but yes. I think it's first.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't think about this before. Well, it's an odd choice of word. Slight problem with the owl. Right? This is probably the best one. Yeah, yeah. Fair enough. Okay, so we'll do that. So we need to about that. Actually, Shane, would you, when we do the 640. Yeah.
Oh, just want to ask you.
So yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's use the phone back. Is it about time? Yeah.
It's a problem. Your excuse to get out of there.
Yeah, honestly, they don't always remember.
I just remember they made some comment about it, so maybe they plan for it to take longer. Assuming it doesn't.
Yeah.
Let's, yeah, you want to, for now, plan for it tonight. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't have.
Okay, so 8 to 9 every other Tuesday. Don is
Yeah.
Oh my God, what is green like that?
Yeah, like, it's a lot smaller than the one they have from before.
You'll have a surface charging.
That's all good.
No, I mean like team structure. Weird? Yeah.
Yeah, oh, he turned to advisor. Yeah.
Why did you do that?
It was like this semester was supposed to be my last semester. Yeah, I was supposed to get two last month. But then more reference. Oh, that's not good. Yeah. well, everyone went for expo other positions. But no one wanted to take that.
Nice presentation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's like to have fun.
The guy's gonna run for like, I think, so I think that's good. Yeah, that's oh.
Thanks for posting on your Instagram.
I do that for every single.
I saw it.
Do it. Yeah.
So possible?
Yeah. Really? Grab some next day. That's good for me, but it looks like oh. Let's think about it.
Not anymore, you found salt.
All right, everybody, welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed the food and had a nice little break. Now we're gonna get into our second group, which is the venture directors. These are different from who we just saw present because these are our internal, in-house part of our incubator, and they just finished in this past semester. So you're gonna see a different timeline of ventures and pitches here in shortly. So getting started, we're gonna start with our first pitch, and from Yash.
Culture is something really important to a lot of us. Culture is something that makes you feel home. Culture is something that you relate to, you belong to. We might, in this room, there might be a lot of Indian Americans, Indians, Chinese Americans, Italians, Spanish Americans, and just a wide variety of cultures represented in this room. And when you're in a country far away from home, or when you're just away from home, miles and miles away, you want something that reminds you of home. You want some cultural aspect, some cultural artifact that reminds you of home. You want to feel like home. You want to relate to your culture. But to do so, most of the times, to obtain such cultural artifacts, you have to actually go to the home country to purchase. These cultural artisans are often inaccessible. And that's where the idea of artistic is born. art made accessible. The problem I'm trying to deal with is breaking it down for you into two aspects. There's a buyer perspective and a seller perspective. There's no online platform to purchase cultural artifacts, and I mean specifically cultural artifacts. And from a seller perspective, most of the sellers who make or manufacture cultural artifacts are not on an online platform because they have to go through middlemen. You have to go through an art gallery, an art representative to actually showcase your art to the world. It's an extremely tedious process. You're probably being assessed by someone who has no understanding of it. My solution to this, an online marketplace that specializes in selling cultural artifacts. It's accessible, approachable, and secure. Basically, we're making a one-stop shop for all cultural artifacts and souvenirs you can purchase globally. You might be sitting in your room in the United States buying a Chinese pottery or an inlay engraved dining table from India. The size of this market. All these statistics are from Statista. So basically, it's a 7.4 billion plus industry of global art sales. Narrowing it down a bit, it's about 7.9 billion of global online art sales. But what I'm most interested in is the 1.9 billion cultural artifacts sold globally. And you'll be surprised to know only 0.3 billion of these artifacts are actually sold online. The rest 1.6 billion are sold through physical platforms. It's an unexplored market. It shocks me that there's actually no platform to do. So that's where my idea stems from. So this is what a UI of artistic looks like. So this is basically once you go to the search function, you search for a particular artifact, and a list will pop, showing you the various artifacts, whatever's available. You have a filter. You have a filter option where you can select the material, the size. You'll have a region filter as well if you want to see it from a particular area, particular region. And once you click on a particular artifact, it will redirect you to this page where you have the price, the description of the artifact, the description of the seller, and we want you to know what you're buying. So you'll have a personal note by the artist, the artisan who actually manufactured this, telling you the history behind this artifact. Then you can select from the list depending on this particular one has a size, so there's multiple options. Our target market right now, our primary target market is Indian and Indian American women, because we're launching in that region first. We're launching in India first, and a secondary market are art collectors and interior designers. These individuals who are interested in collecting art, interested in collecting cultural artifacts, and yeah, so that would be a secondary market. Attraction. The biggest aspect of us actually working in our market validation is that we have a current present network of 5 sellers. We have 5 sellers on board, and they're a combined bunch from India and China. MB Exports, ITN Artifacts, Kashmir Pashminas. These 3 are the biggest manufacturers of cultural artifacts in India. They're all based in Jaipur, India, and their entire valuation of yearly sales value about $230 million. So I feel this is a big achievement that they have actually convinced this to come on board with us, because they've never been represented online. Their art, their work has never been showcased on an e-commerce platform. Further, we're in ongoing negotiations with 3 other sellers, which we're in advanced stages. We hope to materialize this negotiation soon, so we can have an 8-seller panel to actually launch our website with. Our intended plan. So I conducted about 15 to 20 seller interviews and 50 to 20 buyer interviews. And the main takeaway from the seller interviews I had is that they were looking for lower commissions. They were looking for lower commissions, and they were looking for a network that actually values, and they don't have to go through that tedious process of being represented by an art gallery first and getting valued and then going on an e-commerce platform. They wanted a direct out, and that's what we're planning to provide. From the buyers wanted a compelling and a robust network of artisans globally. If they were sitting in Australia, they wanted to purchase, they wanted us to have an option for them to purchase products from China, from India, from Europe, from America. So we're trying to do that. And our intended plan to do so is introduce 3 price ranges, which is the low, the medium, the high, to cater to all segments. When you come to the Artistics website, we don't want you to feel left out. There's a price for you, there's an art for you, there's an artifact for you. So doing so, we're dividing our website in the 3 price ranges, low, medium, and high. And particularly, especially for the high, expensive, and exquisite artifacts, we're going to host special limited access auctions for our loyal customers and returning customers, and also just people who are interested in buying really expensive art. We're also going to have hyper-local function. Imagine you're sitting in Champaign and you're the person, the seller, the artisan happens to be from Vancouver, happens to be from Chicago, or happens to be from the Champaign-Urbana region itself. So we'll have an option on our website to actually message the artist personally if you want to contact them within the own area, maybe make some customizations for you on that particular artifact or anything like that. Our business and revenue model. So we're on a commission-based business and revenue model. I divided into 3 parts. For the higher range price range, it'll be about 79%. For the medium range, our commissions will be about 35%, and for the lower range, about 33%. It's depending on the bracket of the price range. That's how we divide our commission. This will be selected from the website. Our competitor analysis. I just divided this chart into accessible, inaccessible, general, and region-specific cultural art. So there's no platform right now doing region-specific cultural art. And most of these platforms, Artsy, Art.com, Wayfair, Artfile, and they're really inaccessible. Like I mentioned, you have to go through a middleman to almost get represented here. And Artsy is on Etsy, except Etsy, almost everyone requires a middleman. Etsy does not, but Etsy is not region-specific. Like Etsy does not provide you cultural artifacts. It's just general. Our advantage is we're the first in the market. We're the first in the market to showcase region-specific art. And we're approachable. Like I said, you don't have to go through a middleman. We have an option on our website where you can fill out a form, and our outreach team will come and contact you directly if you're a seller interested in selling. And you can showcase our work and showcase your work on our website. We're secure. We want to live in the present. And we believe, me and my co-partner believe that NFT for digital art is the future. So we're going to set up a blockchain and have crypto transactions to be able to buy digital art using NFT. I think this will provide the customer with a secure way to actually obtain the authentic digital art. Our future roadmap. So right now we're done with the preliminary customer identification market research. Of course, this is like an ongoing thing until you launch. It just never ends. So we're in our build and prototype network chain phase. We're almost done with building a front end, and we're working with our sellers, showcasing to them our prototype, getting feedback, working on that. We hope to get done with that stage really soon. We're going to go to back end and front end integration. For our shipping and handling, we're actually working with Blue Dart in India. So Blue Dart is the biggest shipping company in that region, in the Southeast Asian region. We hope to speak to other companies as well for international shipping. But right now we're working on a shipping and handling model where for a certain transaction, the customer gets free shipping, but for a transaction below that value, you'll be charged shipping. Pretty standard, I believe. And yeah, that's our team. I'm Yashwant Maheshwari, I'm the CEO, and my co-founder couldn't be here because he's in China right now. He's the CTO. So yeah, basically artistic is, that's what it is. It's art made accessible. Thank you.
They are a company that's in downtown Champaign that sells art. And they have a website. Could you explain how you do it?
Oh, look at the thing is we're actually getting like people, our artifacts are more on the side that they have like history, in the sense that we're focusing on showcasing new cultural artifacts like that's been going on. So like they have cultural value basically, like they've been in the culture of that particular region and area from the 1700s, 1600s, whatever. So they're part of the history. They've been going on and perfected over time. And we're trying to focus on artifacts like, for example, inlay carving. Inlay carving is really authentic to the Indian market. It's been done since the 1200s and the 1300s. And that's something really cultural to that particular market. And there is this Chinese pottery which has been done in China for like a really long time. So we're really focusing on that cultural aspect to come through. We're focusing on the art, we're focusing on art developed in cultures over a long period of time. And that's what our basic niche is. We're not trying to get artisans, just normal artisans. We're trying to get artisans who actually manufacture and make culture specifically.
I guess culture by its nature is lots of things involved. So when you try to delineate who is the artist and who is not an artist and doing something, entirely dependent on who you're actually trying to. So that's something that I started say what's new competition, showing them that, you know, furthermore, trying to make this say that you're able to sell it to no other platform does. And I think it's functional. Finally, if you sure there's no way that this can be to kind of smooth out the like historical, but that's something that really becomes a problem.
Yeah, security is a huge aspect. That's why when we're establishing our seller network, we're making sure that the people who have all the clearances from the particular governments or whether dealing with, whether it's China or India. So they have all the permissions to actually sell and export the art they manufacture. So it's a seller network which consists of sellers who earn their reputation, who have all the licenses, and they have no history of functioning within. So we're ensuring as much as we can from our personal side to create a seller network which stays within the legal boundaries, and they have all the government clearances. So we're going to continue to do that. And so the cultural part, definitely, it's a concept which can be more. It's not like a hard pen and paper concept. It evolves. Everyone has a different definition of it. But yeah, our target market, like I mentioned, is Indian and Indian American women right now. So we're basically focusing on getting artists from basically India and China, more towards India right now. So I think that market is still extremely unexplored because it's a nation of 1.4 billion plus people, with a lot of them struggling with pandemic, a lot of artisans and artists struggling to even get represented right now. And the seller network I currently mentioned, they're nowhere connected to any e-commerce platform, and they do like a combined annual sales of 530 and up. So it is, I feel that there's a lot of still underrepresentation in this field, and I feel that artistic kind of is trying to cover that region where a lot of artists are still extremely underrepresented.
We apologize, but we are like pretty over time, so we're gonna have to cut this one short. Thank you, and another round of applause for Yash. Yeah. Perfect.
PJ, I'm the founder of Apollo. So one night in Chicago, I was going to see a small house show with a band that I never heard before. I'll admit, initially I was skeptical. Maybe I wouldn't like their music, who knows? But throughout the course of the night, the positive and welcoming atmosphere created, as well as the variety of meaningful connections that I made or formed, fostered a deep love for live music for me. I returned home that night with a feeling that I had a unique shared experience. It was magic. So this feeling is really what I'm trying to harness with Apollo. So I went to college. And the first thing I saw on campus is I looked for these small house shows, and they were hard to come by. These opportunities to see these house are very limited because it's based on who you know or what Instagram account you follow. And if you're not in the loop, you won't be able to find them. Now I noticed another aspect of this problem too, where there's a large variety of small independent musicians on campus who just don't have the networking connections necessary to play their music live. Now I'm not talking about bands, I'm talking about individuals who have been playing an instrument all their life, yet they don't study music, but they're still very passionate about it. And so Apollo was born. Our solution is to create a multifaceted platform where independent musicians can connect with each other and anyone willing to pose as a venue and the general population of listeners in their area. Our goal here is to promote a culture of inclusivity and accessibility for live music on campus and all over the nation. The idea is if we provide opportunities for students to host their own live music events, it'll make one step of the process a lot easier, and thus there'll be more shows and more exposure for these artists. So I set out on a quest to find as many bands and venues on campus as I could. To my knowledge, there's at least 15 bands and 9 venues. So I interviewed some of these bands. My most prevalent finding was that these bands are mostly composed of music makers who have met each other through word of mouth or in class. Now, another person I interviewed was a friend or a couple friends who are independent musicians, where I found that there's really no opportunities to join this community if they're just out to live. From talking to the venues too, I noticed that the majority of them, 66%, are run by students already. So why not make it a little bit easier to do it? So I thought about what might a website be. So we have 3 different unique accounts: an artist, a venue, or an artist account will be able to promote their work and list samples of it to get hired, play live. A venue account could be anyone from a club or an RSO hosting a flagship event, a flat, or a legitimate thing, or maybe even someone who just wants to have a talk show. A listener will be able to interact with people. Now, each different account will see the platform differently. So from a listener's point of view, you'll be able to see this home screen, the upcoming events on the right-hand side, and the featured artists in the area on the left-hand side. We kind of thought about, well, who might else be doing this? So I found 2 major competitors. Bandpeer is a platform marketed as Tinder for musicians, and they connect musicians with each other. But the problem is they don't connect these musicians with venues. Now, so far, there's another platform, yet they do the exact inverse. They lack musicians connecting each other, they're connecting with venues. If they do this in a very mysterious way, where you don't know where the venue is, where the band you're seeing at all until the night before. But they really lack the component where they build a community. Apollo connects musicians with each other, venues, and strives to build a local community. So how can I make money? Or how could Apollo make money? So musicians will charge a flat rate based on how popular they are, how much they believe their services are worth. And Apollo will add a small finder's fee to it. Venues will pay this entire rate to Apollo, where Apollo will hang on to it until after the show to hold these musicians accountable. We're trying to create a 2-sided marketplace where musicians and venues mutually benefit each other. So here's a brief timeline of our growth. We began in October and started market research and customer discovery in November. By the end of February, we're planning on finishing a website and having a local champion event. To accomplish this, we've been working with these 7 bands I interviewed to be the first musicians on our platform. We also plan on partnering with some of the local student-run venues just to get their fan base to be the listeners, the first listeners on our platform. By May, for the end of the semester, we have a goal of at least 100 registered users. So the summer will begin app development, app launch in August, and a nationwide launch next October. My team myself, Nithya, and Vivian. We're a group of motivated and driven individuals, fiercely passionate about music and redesigning the way musicians and venues connect with each other. If anyone would like to join along the process, feel free to reach out to me. And thank you for your time.
So locally, could you say a little more about, like, could you talk to people who are currently booking or provide or working with multiple venues? I know some of those folks are in town and what did you learn from them?
Yeah, there's a few individuals right now in the live music scene who work not only with the house shows and student-run venues, but they're also working with legitimate establishments like the Rose Bowl Tavern or Kennedy Club. So those people are really the main connections or the network of people that musicians on campus. But there's a lot of barriers to entry because you don't really know these people personally. So anyone else who really wants to get involved has to track down these people themselves. And I experienced that when I was trying to be on part to find so people and you have to reach out to them and collaborate with them. And then you don't even know if the work will be bad.
So the barrier to entry for the musicians is that people who are booking venues are not something that.
Yes.
So what would make the platform, how would the platform solve that? So if I'm a booker and I'm not responding to musicians who are contacting me, there gotta be a reason for that. Someone they're going to be worried about what is that reason and how does your platform work to have solved that barrier, even though, you play on platform.
Good question.
How does it address what you learned?
Well, it's mostly about the popularity of the musician, who are the people that they're hiring at their events. And so you can sort of see their events with like the higher level musicians. What I'm trying to do is open it up to the lower level where anyone can host an event. And if you're anyone hosting an event, there won't be these standards that you already have for musicians. So it'll open up the floor to the bottom of the barrel musicians who don't get this exposure, just to have a chance to play the music live at even the smallest of events. So really, we're kind of trying to break apart from the large and already established music venues and create our own thing where anyone can become a part of it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Jump the gun, huh? I.
Hi, I'm Nico,
And I'm Rishi.
and we're the founders of Poetic. This is what musicians used to write lyrics 2,000 years ago. This is what they use now. Not a lot has changed, right? Okay, some people use Google Docs or maybe even notes app on their iPhone to jot down lyrics once in a while too. But the truth is, when you're talking about something as complex and sophisticated as musical lyrics, these applications tend to solve very shortly. I know this from personal experience because I've been writing poetry for over 8 years now and have never really been satisfied with the available technology.
To us, the fact that the medium for creating music hasn't changed in centuries, despite remarkable advancements in music and technology, is a tragedy. So we're here to fix that. We started off by having conversations with artists around us, and while we heard a variety of complaints about the music creation process, one in particular was very prevalent. And it was the fact that writing good lyrics takes way too long. Over 80% of the artists that we spoke to said that writing lyrics is the hardest part of the music creation process. And about 90% of them also said that shortening this process would drastically improve their output and their exposure as artists. This is because higher production volume improves the chances of creating a viral or hit song. To put it simply, our customers didn't like bouncing between writing lyrics and finding inspiration, so we eliminated the friction and created a lyrical co-pilot. Last year, 52% of SoundCloud artists were not listened to at all. That's 13 million people striving to be better musicians on SoundCloud alone. Those 13 million people are a representative subset of our target market. We want to appeal to those who are enthusiastic about music and also to those who want to be semi-successful, but also for those who want to improve their music and lyrics to the next level and improve their exposure as artists. Also last year, $5.9 billion was spent in the music publishing space. So we're confident that the industry will provide more than enough room for Poetic to grow as a music composition assistant. There are two main components to what Poetic is going to offer initially: lyric suggestion and a rhythm notation system. Both of these work towards enhancing the writer's creative experience in different ways.
Poetic's automatic highlighting feature suggests improvement and stimulates inspiration for the writer. Poetic generates these lyrics using a machine learning algorithm trained on thousands of different songs. So you know the suggestions you get are going to be meaningful and musical in the context of the song. Now, if I were to tell you to look up the lyrics to a song you haven't heard before, let's say this is your top song, and then I asked you to rap those lyrics with just the words in front of you, chances are you wouldn't do a very good job. But with Poetic's rhythm notation color-coded system, now users can read and understand the cadence, or the rhythm, in other words, of any annotated lyrics. The significance of this is that from now on, the songwriting experience will be higher efficiency, as well as open up new avenues for collaboration, as well as experimentation with new rhythmic ideas. Because for the first time, you can actually get your rhythmic ideas on paper. Poetic's lyric suggestions cater to the user by taking into account the content of their writing in order to provide them with highly contextualized lyric suggestions. This is something that our primary competitors, Lyric Studio and Chord Studio, lack. In addition, our rhyme scheme analysis and our rhythmic notation features both contribute to a more sophisticated writing environment, which gives Poetic an additional competitive edge. So here's the timeline. Poetic is going to start out free, offering the full course of the features to initial customers, hopefully generating a large user base in the process. Regarding early marketing strategies, we're going to start out by contributing the beta version of Poetic to artists and in the UIUC area who will promote and use the product, as well as provide us with valuable feedback so we can iterate our MVP efforts. Later, once we're confident that customers have acknowledged our value, we'll transition to a premium model, which will limit the most premium and powerful suggestion features, but still deliver on the tools essential for effective songwriting for our free users. And our long-term goal, once we've generated enough revenue and enough of the user base, to roll out a more professional music collaboration platform, which will be marketed to not just individuals, but also larger organizations like record labels and artist brands.
And we're the perfect team for Poetic because along with being technically skilled students, we meet the highly dynamic and versatile requirements for this industry. We have the skills and passion to make Poetic work, so we hope you'll join us as we help the world write better lyrics. So if you're interested in working with us, go ahead and scan this QR code. Right now, we're looking for a mentor as well as teammates and connections. So go ahead and do this or reach out via email. Thank you.
Thank you.
We charge around $6 to $7 a month. So it's really hard for them to justify, especially when music is just a hobby for them, to pay that monthly subscription. Whereas for us, we have like different avenues to get free or free.
So if you want to do their suggestions, I guess, does that pose a problem or create a lot of suggestions, but then if the artists are, again, sort of putting out music that's copying others, it's being done by AI, like how does that, I guess, how does that work?
Well, the way it works is that it would take the
So there's not basically a database of lyrics that we're feeding to them. Instead, it's highly tailored towards the content of the user as they write them. So yeah, say they've written like 3 words on the sheet so far, and they ask us for suggestions. Yes, those will probably largely be redundant because there's so little data that we can provide.
For example, yeah, sorry, but for example, modern language models that can imitate like any author you can input as content, right? So like analogously, we would be able to imitate the voice of the lyricist while they're writing their own lyrics.
I think one of the challenges, like with a lot of the functionality of that is trying to get people to understand it. There's not like an artistic, I guess that's what I'm wondering, if I don't know enough mechanics behind it, but I just imagine that being problematic because you're customizing, then you can start getting a lot of similar suggestions. And I'm just wondering, how do you account for that, or how does the programming account for that? If I'm a paying user and I'm an artist and then I want to be producing this, but then your platform that I'm facilitate my songwriting is then creating problems because I'm starting to sound maybe similar to some other artists on platform just by how it's designed. I'm just, yeah. I'm just wondering, thinking about that, or if there are other challenges that we're wondering about just the artistic aspect and purity of songwriting.
So if I understand the model, someone who comes and uses the product and says, I have no idea what I want to say or think. It's not useful. You can't put that.
Right.
The model works best on someone who has a half-written song. Right? You currently have the actual software data, everything. This is the concept for that.
Well, the actual software for generating text,
Yes.
that already exists. The only to do to make it work is to filter by line.
Could you go into a little bit more detail about your unpaid data? I ask because I usually recommend against doing any functions just because you can probably go and have a set your price in order to actually get that. So if you just go into a little bit detail.
Yeah, so the idea behind that was we were concerned that our competitors were charging around $6.5 to $7 each for the subscriptions. We're kind of posing too high of a barrier of entry for people looking to get these kind of their suggestions or supplements to their lyric writing, which is why we decided to go free. We thought we didn't want to basically bar anyone from who's interested potentially and then decrease our usage that way. We wanted to start out with a free version and then features later on.
Just might want to think about how you launch that and how broadly you launch it. Maybe you just otherwise we go always start
Well, we were gonna launch in both of these right now, the free version. So
All right, thank you guys. That concludes Poetic. Round of applause, please.
Meet Dominica. She is a tennis playing, very power loving 20-year-old girl. But what this picture
picture doesn't show you is that she also suffers from severe anxiety. She experiences an impending sense of mental and physical pain when walking into a room with people that she doesn't know, leaving the house, or talking to a stranger. She also, because of her anxiety, she also suffers from insomnia, migraines, and some issues. I want to know what's worse, the physical or the mental turmoil. Dominica is actually a long-term friend of mine and pains me knowing what she's going through. I miss her birthday parties, work, and so much more. I know she does too. In an era burdened with anxiety at an all-time high, easing the pain seems impossible. Here at Blaze Daisies, we know that CBD is a powerful but overlooked tool in relieving anxiety and its effects. Stigma around hemp-based products prevents many from trying it. Our vision is to open an iconic and recognizable brick-and-mortar cafe, an ambient place to gather, relax, and enjoy THC and CBD-infused beverages and baked goods. While we are much under the legal age restrictions and capital needed to open up our cafe, right now what Blaze Daisies is doing in 2022 is the stepping stone to take our vision from 0 to 1.
So Blaze Daisies provides a very easy and enjoyable solution for consumers. If you're looking to alleviate pain, whether that's deep insomnia, muscle pain, anxiety, or depression, we provide a great substitute that's both delicious and effective. Imagine Dominica as Julia's amazing friend who's taking anti-anxiety meds daily. Now imagine her instead substituting that with the Blaze Daisies. You can imagine this is a much user-friendlier experience for people, so assuring they will keep coming back over any other alternative. And for those who are not looking to naturally medicinate, they're just looking for a relaxing, fun way to calm down. It's going to be just as alluring from the aesthetic of the brand and the delicious treat.
Humans like Dominica were able to medicinate make up around 70% of the CBD in the population. These are our extreme users. The other 30% composed of everyday college students who just want to chill out or relax, as well as people who are interested in trying new CBD products and want to dip their toes into the world of cannabis.
The current CBD edible market is dominated by large brands pushing out chemicals, and they're targeting people who are looking for more medicinated things. We're targeting the local UIUC Champaign community. We're going to be targeting a similar price to the insomnia or crumble cookies. However, our novelty in our is the CBD infused. Sorry. And we provide a whole new experience that your local bakery and local dispensary just can't provide. We have the perfect blend of both.
We interviewed individuals ranging from high-stress students, working parents, to anyone in between. What we found is that people are willing to buy a CBD product for stress if they know what it is or if they are already enthusiasts. What we also found from our interviews is that we had a large pool of excitement stemming from our peers from our product. The college campus is the perfect starting market for our product, as many college students already use CBD for fun, and many are looking for ways to cope with the daily stresses of life.
From our market research, we have learned that our target market is willing to pay anywhere from $4 to $7 per specialty treat or drink. At the lower end of this range, this leaves us at a profit margin of about 76%, and slightly higher, we land at a profit of about 81%. Our main product is cannabidiol-infused Danish butter cookies. These cookies are made from a simple dough with low-cost ingredients. Not only does this dough freeze extremely well, it has a freezer life of about 6 weeks without losing any CBD potency, but it also is extremely versatile. You can add any kind of mix-ins and make it customizable to your own taste.
The first step was getting a lot of market research and seeing if the UIUC community was a viable market. We got a lot of positive feedback and we learned that it was. Second step was getting our batches out, having students taste this, if they like the CBD effect, did it even work? Did it taste good? Did you taste the CBD? Asking all of those questions. Our third step is saturating the UIUC community, talking at cafes like Espresso Royale, Brewlab, and even groceries in Urbana that already carry CBD products, seeing if they'd be open to having our products in store. And we gained a lot of positive feedback, opening to further next steps. Our next step is we're really hoping to garner a contract with one or more local businesses, saying that they will indeed sell our products, and hopefully becoming an LLC. For this, we're going to need some funding to grow our company.
Blaze Daisies, your best friend, anxiety's worst enemy. Being as busy as you are is tough enough. Ease your pain with the Blaze Daisy cookie, the best way to use CBD without the CBD pain.
My name is Zero2One and I am analytically managing director.
My name is Hassan Puri and I'm the product developer.
I'm Ella Shortino, and I'm really passionate about finding the perfect solution for consumers.
Thank you.
Generally, we're at the production stage. So can you tell me a little bit about what your plans are to actually, when you have the facility established, get that production actually be able to have the
For sure, that's a very valid question. We've been baking so far, like local dining, housing, Nugent and stuff is rentable. So we're gonna need to be able to find out a rentable space. I know back home, if we're hoping to do like farmers markets, my local church has a FDA approved kitchen that they would be able to rent out for free. If we needed to do something like that around the communities, we have to find a local business or a place that we could rent at a similar capacity. Right now, we're not at that scale, but it's definitely something that we're going to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely look into that. This the profit margin is 8%. If that still goes true, that's phenomenal. Huge viability.
Do you feel like this model works best? Both of it is one cookie at a time, provide restaurants versus packaging it and pointing and selling it.
I think it definitely works better if we package it singly and sell it as a single product. Because what we were trying to go for is an experience where you can buy a cookie at a cafe and not buy it at bulk. It's very similar to the way that you would buy cookies at Insomnia or Crumble Cookies, except they're infused with CBD oil. In Apple stores, you don't buy a big package of cookies at once. You can order a box of cookies, which you can absolutely do with our cookies.
So you would eventually have to produce the cookie for both.
Yes.
And additionally, another part is the dosage. If we were selling them, let's say 20, you run the risk of someone taking more CBD than they potentially should. Even though it's not psychoactive, we make it specific for one cookie per dose. And even, you might label that on the package, do the best you can to make that clear to the consumer on your part. Who's to say they're not going to eat all 20 at once?
People already have that problem.
I'm glad you're at least thinking about that, but yeah, I can't imagine. It's like, are there regulatory issues that you need to deal with regarding the kitchen space that you, as because of the event, as well as you sort of mentioned different whatever stores or the office that you're next to, they also have to have some special.
Yes. Yeah, so basically what we have to do is file an application for a license to be able to do CBD products or make CBD products. And that is $100. And what you do once you have the application and you pass the licensing and the licensing fees is that your product's been tested about once a month on supplies on land to make sure that your area is reputable in terms of the way that you're measuring your cookies or like your dosage for each cookie and where you're sourcing your actual CBD oil from. And we're sourcing it from a pretty large company that makes high quality CBD oil.
I mean, there's that come to play with like you're trying to sell to, whatever, coffee shops. What do they do? Cookie space.
For vendors, they need a resale license, and most vendors and cafes and bakeries, I think they already have that. And that's honestly all they really need as long as that we have the licensing.
Thank you guys. That'll conclude the presentation. Another round of applause.
Maybe the audience want to try their CBD free just because we didn't know, obviously the audience's preferences. So feel free to grab them.
everybody, if we can get ready so that Aisha can start her presentation.
Hi everyone, my name is Aisha. One morning, I had slept through all of my alarms and woke up to my hair looking like an absolute mess. I only had 10 minutes to get to my next class, and I had to think fast. So I came up with a brilliant idea of wearing a beanie. I pulled it on and I went to my class, unfortunately failed my test, came back, and all while experiencing a strange tingling sensation on my forehead, but I ignored it. When I finally got home and pulled the beanie off, I was shocked to find that there was a rash spread across my forehead and this beginning of an acne breakout starting to spread across my forehead. This was not the first time that this had happened, though, but because of the convenience of these, I didn't want to stop wearing it. This time, though, I was fed up. I pulled out my phone and began to research. I found that many people were in the same boat as me and that they were all trying to find a solution to this problem. I took my research a step further by releasing a survey to people in the 14 to 22-year-old age range. I found that of the people I surveyed, 52.9% of people reported forehead itchiness while wearing beanies, 5% reported mild to severe acne breakouts, and 16.8% of people reported both. With these results, I knew that I had to find a solution. And I got to thinking. I thought of satin-lined beanies. After trying on my prototype, I found that I felt a very positive increase in comfort, and I was able to wear the beanies for hours on end without having any irritation at all. Many certified dermatologists also share their approval for satin and silk, and it is commonly used in products such as sheets, pillowcases, and even headbands. Dr. Tansy Elizabeth, MD, actually said, a silk surface also reduces the friction and potentially lessens the opportunity for skin irritation or reaction. After further research, I did find that I have competitors, with two of them being Pink and Coil and Tomberry. Pink and Coil sells beanies that are advertised for those with textured hair and not sensitive skin. In comparison to my beanies, they are fully lined with silk, and if you look closely, you will still find a space between the silk lining at the edge of the beanie where there could be potential for forehead irritation. The style of beanie is also specific for winter, which isn't ideal for those who want to wear on a more casual note in a different season. Tomberry sells fully lined silk beanies as well, but they could potentially slip off of one's forehead, and they aren't the classic style that people within my target market tend to go for when buying beanies. Speaking of my target market, I intend to sell beanies to people at U of I and high schoolers within the age range of 14 to 22, regardless of gender. I want to advertise on social media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, because those are the social media platforms that people within this demographic are most easily on. I also came up with a brand name and design of Lazy Duck. Now, if you look closely, you might see a different word being spelled out, a profanity specifically here. And this is because we are all lazy ducks at some point and use these in a lazy attempt to cover our appearances or messy hair. Not only is this logo appealing to people within my audience or intended target market, it is also easy to advertise because it's concise and unforgettable. I've begun to gather customer feedback, and so far the responses have all been positive. I want to gather at least 10 more responses before moving on to my next step. But before getting into that, I want to talk a little bit more about myself. So my name is Aisha, and I started in an Etsy store in 2020 when the pandemic first started. I was able to gather over 2,500 plus sales because of TikTok. I'm very experienced in driving niche traffic from TikTok to my Etsy store. And because my Etsy customers are within the same demographic as my intended audience for Lazy Duck, I will utilize the email list that I've been developing for the past 2 years to direct my previous customers to a website to pre-purchase a beanie. I will offer them a special discount and if they on my Etsy products if they buy a beanie and submit feedback for it. And the funds from this pre-sale list will allow me to begin working with manufacturers to fulfill the orders, and of course I'll be continuing to advertise on social media platforms to promote even more sales. I do ask for $200 in funds to produce the beanies that I'm currently using to gather customer feedback before moving on to this next step. So that is Lazy Duck. Thank you for listening to my pitch for satin lined beanies that are optimal for lazy people and students all around the world.
So to clarify, are you selling the blue line people or are you going under?
the new hat brand. So that's not the actual logo that I have. This is just the prototype that I developed to do.
So have you, so have you thought about the sourcing and pricing of your economics for?
Not just yet, because I want to make sure that it's a feasible product, that people will actually use it, and that it's actually more useful. So that is something that I'm not looking to yet, but I do know of manufacturers around Chicago that would help me in producing them, and there are plenty of websites that I could order from bulk and fabric stores, so that isn't something that I'm focused on just yet.
Okay, so you have to figure out what you do.
No, not yet, but I do know that most people, especially within the 14 to 23-year-old age range, will not want to buy it beneath the more for around $20, maybe even $15. So I definitely have to keep production costs at a minimum to increase profit margins.
For people who have already favorite active, have you thought of creating something for yourself?
Yeah, definitely. There was a idea that I had of using or selling strips of silk with Velcro on the back of them, but that is definitely something a lot further on in the line. I want to establish this as much as I can, spread the word about it, and then people can purchase silk or strips themselves if they want to add it to their own house.
So you mentioned these competitors. What are these people who want to start doing?
I don't know, but I did find that without like much research at all, so I'm sure that they're quite popular.
Yeah, I'm just wondering since you guys have something like you're planning to make your own hats and brand rights, and I don't know if there are other competitors in the space, but how are you, I guess, how are you differentiating other than trying to appeal? And I'm always suspicious when people say that all the responses are positive, so I don't know what you're saying.
Well,
I can't have it true, unless you're really, you know, they're limited in people. So I'm just wondering like how you're thinking about the quality of the hat itself, or again, material, or what are you doing in your event to replace the space you really must know technology? So what do you help with that?
Yeah, for sure. So again, my brand is definitely directed for more college students. The color scheme, the style is a lot more appealing to people in that target audience. And again, these beanies that I found, they're again targeted towards people with textured hair because silk is known to lessen like frizzy hair and things like that. So if I advertise it as something that would towards people with sensitive skin or skin conditions such as eczema, I think I'd be able to garner a different following, and maybe even people from the other competitors as well. But it's just again specific for people with sensitive skin and who have dealt with itchiness in their teeth.
Great, thank you guys, and that concludes the presentation.
Yes.
All right, guys, if we can please turn our attention towards Arpegia, they'll be beginning shortly.
we are arpeggios. Let's discuss some issues within the music education industry. Currently, music education industry is expensive, intellectual, and filled with trade-offs. The eternal dilemma of choosing something affordable versus high quality is ever common within the music education. Luckily, we've been able to do some market research to see if we can discover how to solve these pain points. Joseph?
Yeah, so after doing some market research with these colleges, we found that one music educators is valuable and we found out that over 60% of these confidence in their teaching ability.
What's our business model? Well, we plan to be a C2C or consumer situation. College musicians will advertise themselves and parents will select their ideas. Prospectively, teachers may choose their own pay based on their expertise and knowledge. Then we'll take 20% of their income and then 8% of their instructing. Any additional expenses will be taken out of their first pay. Let's talk about our competition. So we'll start in this one here. Music apps that target children such as piano tiles or simple piano, they may be engaging, but have actually very little music education built into it. And in public schools, well, underfunded public schools almost never teach applicable music content. And if it is taught, students often find it uninspiring. Now, what about these private courses? They're higher quality, but considering the average hour-long lesson is somewhere around $80, sometimes even higher. Most families can't afford continuous lessons for their children. Our prejudice solves this dilemma by getting something that is high quality yet affordable. Let's talk about some other advantages. We talked about our affordability and high quality, but we also show two other common things. Our prejudice is flexible. With a large workforce of college musicians, parents will always be able to select their ideal teacher for their child. And our prejudice creates impactful connections. Teachers are not only music teachers, they're also role models. By having a relatable, fun, and caring teacher, children can learn more effectively and enjoy.
So for our MVP, we'll be utilizing a relatively creative website and a comprehensive curriculum so we can collect feedback on users on both sides. The website will act as a landing page for prospective customers or really anyone that's interested in our program. The curriculum will act as a guide for how mentors should interact with the students during the pilot program. So they can teach the students the basic aspects of musicianship. We will then utilize information to ensure what aspects of the curriculum keep or throw away for when we begin to operate on a larger scale. So as of right now, Arpegia has already designed a landing page, created an email list of interested college students, and outlined multiple curriculum. The events we want to get a secure foundation by the end of the spring semester by collecting instructors and ensure quality sets developed and implemented so we can make sure that we're the program is the next one. Our goal by the end of the year is to have a high functioning website, secure 10+ paying customers, and have one reliable partnership with the school in the surrounding Champaign and Banner region.
After a brief overview of our team, there's what we have doing with the freshmen, currently underpaid but have plans to apply to school program. We've been together for about 13 years and have experience with children others. And we have Joseph, 18 years. We've had 6 years of experience with the children and counselors. And we also have music formative years and we perform multiple gigs at Colorado. Then we have the Michael Todd, that's a CS major. 7 years of experience on the art, 2 years of experience with the children. And that's us. We're Arpegia, an organization dedicated to providing affordable
We've done physical presentations, and we told us like, oh, we'll be a student, you know, an RSO to think about this as a student. What have you learned about how parents are currently identifying instructors that they trust? So in terms of what you're putting on the website, like this is a profile with the experience, but it's both in music and with the amount of teaching your experience, even if it's not music related. Is it a sample of your, you know, your skills? And so are people, like, if I sign up as a parent, my child, is it just one lesson and I get to try it? And maybe it's not a good match, right? It's just, for whatever reason, maybe a personality conflict, a teaching style conflict. Can I pick another structure, or what does that look like from user?
Well, we're trying to emulate similar platforms, so you may have heard like Wyzan or Tudu.com or even like Psychology Today. You find exactly who you need. You'll be connected, and it'll have like a bio about them, their contact information, their qualifications. You know, for us it'd be like what year are they in, what instruments do they play, how long they've been playing and whatnot. And it'll just be on a class by class basis. And if the class doesn't work out, the first class doesn't work out, they can leave at any time, they can join at any time. So it's very flexible.
Will this also be a treatment platform? We do hope to include things on the website. When we launch our pilot, on the website. If you don't, let's recruit the parents and then just go with the structure.
Well, there's a lot of different reasons. Is that well, we make sure that they're connected. We also make sure that the teachers are educated properly. They're given a certificate, and if there's perhaps some reason that they're not teaching, or we realize that they're not part of the program anymore, we supply them with additional musical parts, curriculums, all these things. So if there's, let's say, a problem with that, it's very easy to take all those things away, and then it makes it very difficult for them to teach independently.
I also want to add to that, a lot of these educators they're super busy because a lot of us are involved in ensembles, other community activities provided by the school, and many of us won't have the time to try to outsource and try to present ourselves as a friend. So we're trying to do, like, we're just trying to act as a hub. So if you want to engage with other people, you will be very easy and very easy to accept.
Once I meet you, I like you guys to structure after lesson number 5, which is what from arranging private lessons with you every Saturday at 9 o'clock off the platform.
You get all the money.
Right. You basically make 20% more, or I take 20% less. The platform has to be engaging enough that there's got to be a reason for it to use the platform. There's some program for
Yeah, it's supposed to be very easy to use. It's like, once you find your teacher, our goal is to make it so the payment process is very easily. You don't have to, connect with the teacher in some specific manner. You can just pay card, make your appointments very easily. You can make it so it's just happening weekly, so you don't have to manage it at any point. Just once it's set, it's very easily adjustable, and you can easily contact your teacher about specific.
All right, thank you guys. With that, we conclude our PEGAP.
there's something like it's wanting to keep it there. That's we want to support it.
That was a really good, I had a person, my parents called me, Friday.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Subject Steve. And today we're going to talk to you about safety. The way to help cars and bikes truly during the road. I'm going to give you guys a quick background about myself. I've been a commuter cyclist for the past 8 years. During that time, I've been hit by a car 3 times. And after that happened, I started doing research and finding out why bike crashes happen and what's happening. And I found that one of the most common bike crashes across the world is dooring. Dooring, a quick demonstration there. Dooring works that a bike goes along a bike track, and the car door opens, it goes to the bike, and there's a crash. And nearly 1 in 6 of all dooring accidents are either fatal or serious accidents. And dooring scares nearly 60% of people who want to bike to walk. And also, 40% of all cyclists argue decide to never bike again. This is huge when cities across the world are trying to increase the amount of cyclists. This is where SafeLane comes from. SafeLane is a light-and-alarm system that helps notify cars and untrained bicycles. We will give you a quick demo here on our display. So this is a little bit dramatized than normally. You know, see lights, not so much flashing, but as the lights go along, the lights turn on, and when the alarm, that'll notify the driver and know it, not to open up. Who's our target market? People who are going to be trying to sell to is when you're trying to sell to urban planning and civil engineering groups within city governments, and users for the 60% of Mickey cyclists who are interested in cycling but don't do the third door, and 42% cyclists not going to do the door. Hopefully, to bring them back once it's out and help them go back to life. If we do our main competition, right? The pros is that they protect cyclists, and over 6% cyclists also love like the bike. However, the main issue is that they are incredibly expensive. According to Chicago Public Transportation, it costs nearly $200,000 just to build 1 mile of protected bike lanes. The SafeLane, we believe our estimates, we'd be able to build the SafeLane system at less than a quarter of that price. And with bike lights, the pros of that is that anyone can get one, and they're also required by law across the United States for lights at night. However, during the day, lights are pretty much useless, and according to Cycling Magazine, less than half of all cyclists even use a bike light, even though it's required by law. So, how do we achieve this? Urbana has an experimental bike infrastructure program that we can leverage to get our cars on the road as soon as possible. We can also reduce our costs by not cutting into the roads or digging up the road anyway, instead laying it across and making it a lot easier to install. We can work with city governments to get grants to receive more funding to develop our product and make it more robust and safer for everyone involved. City governments look for high value at low cost, and by reducing the cost of digging up the road and installing a permanent structure, you can achieve both. We also are going to start by selling to smaller cities because we don't have to talk to as many people to get our product on the road as fast as possible, and begin testing and iterating our design to where we can make it work best. Our business model, our
plan is to get initial seed funding so that we can build an initial prototype and get it on the road with your banner program mentioned earlier. Once there, you can iterate the idea to make it greener by adding solar panels for control boxes and to make it safer and lower profile to both minimize impact on the road and make it even better than the options. Once we're able to use our product in Urbana and Champaign, we can go to other small cities and market to them for their needs, for whatever needs they have on the roads. And from there, we can move to larger cities like Chicago. Our current achievements include already talking to local governments about getting our products on the road right now, receiving feedback support from the UIUC entrepreneurship community, and building a team. I was on board recently, built this prototype, and I was helping build the next few companies.
Here's our main plans for the future. So far, we've already applied for iVenture with that, and we intend to join those programs. We're going to help develop a better prototype and then a final product which we can then sell into the market and to increase funding. Once we do have that full-size prototype, we'll then find out where exactly to best place it, because you mentioned that might be a good place. So that is our next step. It's a group of safe way to do it. So right now we're looking for more people. Ideally, we're looking for people who are interested in electrical engineering and helping make cycling and driving safer. We're looking to try and find the best ways to sell to governments. We know who to sell to. We want to sell to civil engineering departments and urban planning departments. Each one of the best ways of directly selling and making sure that money is used right. And funding to then build these prototypes in big parts, and we're going to need much larger sensors and wires and actual power. So thank you all for listening. We hope that you'll be able to come and help the safe way to make driving and biking safe. Thank you.
I feel like it's a prototype. How do you power it? How do you coordinate the show?
Yeah, so the final realized goal is modular piece. So each of the discs, like you mentioned, is the idea. We could have the IR sensors and lights integrated onto the circuitry, so we don't have, so each of the modules can be connected to each other. And that way we can put the power and brains in a box at the end of, say, every 10 blocks or so. And that box could be with the right battery technology, ideally solar powered, because it is an intermittent use device. It doesn't need to be powered all the time. It's great to reduce our power needs. And of course, we're going to need high power LEDs to be able to cutting through any type of weather event. So modular discs allow high power application.
So do you need some central controller, or could you come up with the design for each of this?
And integrated controllers like that would be ideal. At this stage, we're not quite sure whether we'll be able to take out the frame entirely, but we know we'll at least need a power source. So that's sort of the idea of having a whole of, even if it's just a box for batteries or solar, any other component they might need still.
Power the actual disc.
Oh, the disc could be daisy chained to the box. And the box could be solar powered and battery powered, so for it to run day and night. And like I said, because it's intermittent power use, as long as we keep the idle power low, and we only need the high power when the lights are actually on, or the sounds are actually on. As part of that would be the integrated circuit design.
So how would you base it?
That's how we like the game.
We're considering laying it on top of the road and then sealing it using asphalt tape. So if you've seen on the road where there's a crack and they do it close to the back, that's asphalt tape. And asphalt tape is incredibly difficult to do. So that's how we do it.
It would be a single continuous piece of modules to be able to. The modules are simply for the lights. The actual casing would be a control.
So you can lay it down. What's the big projected cost of that?
If there aren't any other questions, then that concludes the presentation of SafeLink.
Like that's what happened. I feel like we're all kind
Alright guys, you can go ahead and scan this QR code. Go ahead and vote for the vaccine.
Alright guys, come on, let's do it.
So you had actually, right before we start that, then I think we should based off of that thing. Here. Here. The dream killers. So there are many people who work it.
We're gonna close in just a minute.
Oh, no, I think he.
Last 15 seconds.
It's fine.
All right, that's the end of the vote. Please stop voting. Please stop voting. Okay. I think we all saw that was a draw. So give us a minute.
It's a tie.
Tie?
Yeah. They both have 22%. Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can see the numbers. But... Okay. Well, we'll do a split the award, whatever it is.
it poetic and arpeggio? Yep. Oops. I forgot to draw that.
That's correct. That's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I just corrected.
Good catch.
GG. Okay. All right, we're good.
All right, guys. We're gonna present the awards now. We're gonna start with the audience choice award. I'd like to call up to the stage Poetic and Arpeggio. And round of applause.
Take photo with your phone as well.
So, I guess this one teams, you guys just.
Alright,
3, 2, 1. Okay, and next we have the Experience Founder Award. And for that, drum roll please. Equability.
Trying to say that we appreciate everybody staying so long, and it's actually very hard to like try to weigh all the factors, and we definitely appreciate all the hard work and the fact that we want everyone to continue with their ventures. If they're really helpful to support you, let us know. But you know, there's only one choice, but lots of winners. So just keep that in mind.
Okay, perfect, that's totally fine. And so now we have the Young Innovator Award. That was for the second group of people who I just presented. So drum roll, please. The award goes to people who are just on the floor equability poetic. Three, two, one.
Okay, thank you.
We are now going to open it up for networking and for socializing. I know we went over time, but if you guys like to stay, please do. Talk to the judges, to the winners, and go to the boards at the back with some more food. Thank you for coming.